Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here,
that's Bob.
That's Karri, and this is Life Redesigned. In 2022, Karri and I sold everything that we owned and we hit the road full-time in our 2023 22 MLE from Redesigned, and we haven't looked back. And most of that time has been spent in Thousand Trails and Encore Parks, thanks to our Thousand Trails membership. For those of you wondering, today, no, we are not in a Thousand Trails Park. We are actually in the Myrtle Beach Travel Park here in Myrtle Beach, and there's a reason why we're here, and that is because we have discovered some of the worst Thousand Trails parks so far in our travels, and we're going to share that with you today. And when we are done with this video, Karri will be proudly uploading this video with
Connected.
They are the official internet provider of Life Redesigned, and if you need mobile unlimited internet, check out Connected Internet, link in the video description below. And I couldn't think of a better place to do this than outside of a Thousand Trails Park.
And if I don't say too much during this one, it's because it was that bad. I've blocked it out, like I don't even remember.
Karri is going to try to refrain from any kind of profanity because some of these were so bad that we didn't even stay, and we'll cover that as we go.
Anywho.
It's from to oh boy, never again, not even thinking about it. So let's go with what's the number one on the list there, Karri?
Diamond Caverns.
Diamond Caverns in Kentucky. So this one here was probably our first bad one that we ever experienced. This one here, the location was decent if you wanted to go and explore the Diamond Caverns Park and stuff like that. But the actual Encore, I think it's the only Encore Thousand Trails in Kentucky, and it might be that way for a reason, was just horrendous. They are on a golf course, or right next to a golf course, and they promote themselves as a golf resort. They had a mini golf that was horrible with weeds growing out. All the outbuildings had mold and fuzz growing on the windows. It was just horrible. The staff there was just non-existent. They would say they were open till 5, but you'd go at 3:30 and they were closed for the day. Just overall, it was one of the first bad experiences we had with Thousand Trails, and we said that we wouldn't even go back. That was no joke.
Yeah.
Next one.
St. Clair.
So this is another one. This was interesting. This was our first time in Michigan, and this is Thousand Trails St. Clair, which I guess at one time was an Encore Park, but now is a Thousand Trails Park, whatever. It is mosquito central. And I'm quite sure if you go during non-mosquito time, whenever that is, from a lot of the people saying it's pretty much all year round.
I remember this one. So when we got there, you go into the office and there's a little store off to your left. So you go in there and the lady is talking to some other lady, like we're invisible.
Yeah, for about a good 10 minutes.
Right, and then she says, oh, can I help you? I'm like, yeah, hi, we're checking in. Oh no, you gotta go over to the next office across the hallway.
Which isn't marked. It's just a room with a couple of people.
And say howdy or something.
It says howdy, you're here, I don't know.
Right. And so you go in there, and this one is talking to a gentleman, and like, again, we're interrupting a conversation, like, can I help you? I'm like, yeah, we're checking in. Oh, name?
It was very brief.
Wow, okay.
They weren't sure if any of the sites were empty, even though we had a reservation.
Yeah.
They basically threw a map at us and said good luck, and said whatever site we had, the site was a muddy mess. And we don't fall, I mean, it's nature, right? You can't control some of these things, but the staffing, horrible.
No, but you can control your tone when you're talking to customers.
And I had booked us there for 3 weeks. We stayed 2, and we got the heck out.
Yep.
Next one.
Indian Lakes.
So Indian Lakes is in Indiana.
Yep.
We've stayed there twice. The
One
first
and a
time,
half.
yeah, not even that. The first time we got there was fine. This is a joint venture with KOA and Thousand Trails. Half of it's KOA, half of it's Thousand Trails. And they treat Thousand Trails members, transient members, which is a word I can't stand hearing, but they treat members basically like second-class citizens. The first time we were there, it was okay. We got a sewer site, everything was good, whatever, and they were very friendly and whatever. The second time we went in, they were horrendous. They're like, oh, you've been here before? There you go find a spot. And it's less and less sites with full hookups for transient members. They're very focused on full-time residency there, or seasonals, or whatever, annuals, I guess you want to call them. The KOA was totally pretty much empty the time we were there. The pools, they have 2 really nice pools, but they only open one of them for whatever reason. It was so bad that we stayed one night and we left, and we booked a Escapees Park in Branson, Missouri, just to get the heck out of there. And we vowed that we wouldn't go back unless we were forced to. Next one.
Here.
This was in Florida, Terra Sea, and it's an Encore Park. And yes, we are aware that they've put in a whole bunch of new sites in a whole new section. But here's the rub. From what we're hearing, it is just as bad as when we were there, because if you're a Thousand Trails member and you're passing through a transient, right, that word again, you still get stuck in the section we were in. This is nothing more than a trailer park, for lack of better terminology, and you feel like you're basically camping in someone's driveway. There was some questionable activity going on with cars in and out for just a couple of minutes, and no, they weren't Uber or DoorDash people, because, well, their cars smell like weed. And it was very sketchy at best. That new section looks fantastic, but they all are about putting in annuals and signing those contracts.
Yep.
And they make no bones about it.
Okay.
Next one.
All right. So I have 0 love here.
This is the last one.
This is
This is brutal.
And I would never, and to be quite honest with you, Thousand Trails should be embarrassed that they're even in their network.
And this is funny because we had, prior to booking this reservation, we had heard such good things about the area and about the people and the staff and everything else. And I want to preface this before we give out the name.
Yeah.
Yes, we know they've had some weather situations and some tornadoes come through or something like this at one point in time, and that's fine. But there's basic things that you can do. Here at Myrtle Beach Travel Park, they had tornado warnings, tornadoes come through the area, big windstorms, and they were constantly on top of it, and they were constantly making sure things were taken care of. We booked a 2-week stay after Orlando in Peace River Thousand Trails.
The place, I'm sorry, is an S-word hole.
It is horrible. We got there, and the first thing they tell you is, well, you can check in at 9 in the morning, and that's great. When we arrived, it was raining, and boy, are we glad that it was, because we got to see firsthand what we were going to be in for 2 weeks in this area. We're talking each site that we've seen, there was at least 4 to 6 inches of standing water because the drainage was so bad. There is no rock, there's no gravel. They were just grassy, muddy sites with ruts this big from people who had been stuck there previously. Now, I heard the staff was amazing, and that's fine. Karri went in to check in, and they were okay. But again, it's one of those things that go find a spot and have fun, and none of the spots were any good. We drove around that place 3 times trying to find some place that we felt was, 1, going to be okay for a 2-week stay, and 2, we were going to be able to get our rig out of, because everything was just a muddy mess. It was so bad that Karri and I made the decision to ditch Florida completely and head to Myrtle Beach and just seek higher ground. And we called here and came back here immediately. When Karri and I called from the parking lot to tell them, hey, I know we just checked in, but this isn't going to work for us, they were not surprised by any stretch.
No, she said, okay.
And it was clear that they had heard this
Do you
before.
want me to cancel the reservation?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is something that, clearly has happened before.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. All of these things, most of them could be mitigated by staffing and people who actually care about the properties that they manage. Some of it does come down to Thousand Trails about funding, but it really does come down to the staffing and their ability to control the campground. We've seen this in quite a few Thousand Trails parks where in Texas, a perfect example was Lake Whitney, where they weren't getting necessarily the funding they needed, but that staff was making sure that they had the best of everything that they could do for your stay, and it really showed in the care that they put into things, the attention to detail. They did phenomenal with what they had, and that's a big thing. Now, we're big big advocates for Thousand Trails. We couldn't afford this
I
lifestyle
love
otherwise.
Thousand Trails. However, that one,
But these are the kind of parks that when people say Thousand Trails, no way, these are the kind of parks that they're talking about. And I'll try to put some of the video for the places that we actually stayed if we took video. And that's always a good way of knowing if we enjoyed a place, is we'll do some kind of review or a video from there. And I don't think we did any of those from any of these places because they were just that bad. If we've missed one, or maybe you think we've stayed at one that wasn't that great and you're mad at us for saying that it was, let us know in the comments below. Bash away, because Karri has now taken over the comment sections because my skin has become a little too thin for this. But we're curious what you feel about Thousand Trails. And at the same time, if you'd like to know which ones that we think are the best, we'll be more than happy to share those with you. Just let us know in the comments below. Anything you want to add?
No.
All right, that was it. For Life Redesigned, I'm Bob.
I'm Karri.
And we'll catch you in the next one.